Hi, I'm Daniel from Ratings.com. Today we're testing the LG SK8000. It's a good TV with an IPS panel, which is best suited to an average lit room with wide seating. It has poor blacks though, so isn't good for those who watch movies in the dark. The SK8000 is the lowest model in LG's top-tier SUHD series of LCD TVs. It has an RGB panel, that is, each pixel has 3 subpixels. This is good, as lower-tier models can't show as much color resolution on their RGBW panels. It is very similar to previous year's LG IPS TVs, like the 2017 SK8000 and the 2016 UHD, as we'll see later. We bought the 55-inch SK8000 to test, but it's also available in 49 and 65 inches. We expect these other sizes to have very similar picture quality and performance, but the 49-inch model has a 60 Hz panel. We'll talk about the effect of this later in the review. First, we'll look at the design of the TV and then move on to the picture quality. We'll look at the motion handling and input lag, and then compare to these competing models which are currently available. The design of the SK8000 is excellent. The TV looks premium when viewed from the front, with an arched stand that supports the TV well. It will wobble a bit when knocked, but still feels stable. The controls are located under the LG logo at the front of the TV. The single button can be used for basic functions, like turning the TV on and off or changing inputs. The borders of the TV are quite thin and look good. They're made of metal and feel high quality. The inputs are located on the back of the TV. About half of them are directed out of the side, and this set is relatively easy to access if the TV is placed close to a wall. There is a composite input on the rear of the TV, but unlike last year's models, there is no component input. The cables can be directed through a hook behind the stand, which provides basic cable management. When viewed from the side, the TV appears quite thin. The bottom of the TV is a bit thicker due to the location of the LEDs, which we can see when looking at the TV through a thermal camera. The bottom gets a bit warm, but this is very normal and isn't likely to cause any issues. Now we'll go on to the picture quality. We'll compare to currently available TVs, but competing models may change as new TVs are released. For an updated comparison with new models as we buy and test them, see the review page on our website, which is linked below. The SK8000 has an IPS panel with a low native contrast ratio. This results in blacks that appear grey when viewed in a dark room, and also makes uniformity issues in dark scenes more apparent. In a brighter room, this isn't noticeable though. If you've got a dark room, then a TV with a VA panel is a better choice, like the TCL 6 Series, X900F or NU8000. The SK8000 has local dimming to improve the dark scene performance, but unfortunately it doesn't work well. The vertical zones extend the full height of the TV, and due to the low native contrast ratio and their large size, there is lots of blooming. For better darkroom performance, the full array local dimming of both the TCL 6 Series and Sony X900F is better. The LG SK8000 has a decent viewing angle. Although the black level of the TV is poor, it remains consistent when viewed at an angle, and while the colors shift, it is less than TVs with VA panels, like the TCL 6 Series and Sony X900F. The brightness does decrease at an angle, which is typical of LCD TVs. Overall, this results in a decent experience for those at an angle, so it is a good choice for wide rooms. This is one area where an IPS-type TV has an advantage over VA counterparts. The reflection handling of this LG TV is excellent. Although it has a semi-gloss finish, bright lights incident on the TV are also smeared less than most other TVs. It is very effective at reducing the total amount of reflections, which is great for rooms with some lights. Unfortunately, the peak brightness of the SK8000 is lower than most other competing TVs. While it can produce some fairly bright highlights in test patterns, the overall screen brightness is only okay. This means that while it can perform well in most rooms, in bright rooms the screen can't really get bright enough to overcome glare. When watching HDR content, the TV has a similar brightness, which isn't really enough to make highlights pop. The grey uniformity of the SK8000 is decent. There is some dirty screen effect, which is noticeable when watching sports or playing games when there is panning across a large uniform area. The edges of the screen are also darker than the center, but this isn't usually too noticeable. These grey uniformity issues do vary from unit to unit due to manufacturing tolerances and are unfortunately inherent to LCD TVs. The SK8000 can produce a wider range of colours than the Rec 709 colour space, but it isn't quite enough for us to consider it a wide colour gamut. It is less than other wide colour gamut TVs like the TCL 6 series, Sony X900F or Samsung NU8000. The colour volume coverage is also subpar due to a combination of the limited colour gamut and inability to produce deep, saturated colours. The SK8000 has an excellent fast response time, so only a very short blur trail is visible behind our moving logo. This is in the same ballpark as these other TVs, which also have excellent response times. Duplications are visible behind our moving logo due to the PWM flicker used to dim the backlight. The SK8000 also has the ability to add more visible flicker to the image, which helps to clear up fast-paced motion when gaming. The 60Hz flicker results in a clearer image than the 120Hz flicker of the X900F. This option isn't for everyone though, as it is distracting for a lot of people. The input lag of the SK8000 and most other new LG TVs is exceptionally low, at about 14 milliseconds for both 1080p and 4K signals. This feels very responsive for gaming or PC use. Interestingly, when sending our 420 signal for HDR, there is a slightly higher input lag of about 22 milliseconds, but this is still very low. Note that the 49-inch model has a 60Hz panel, and so doesn't support a 120Hz signal. The WebOS smart platform of the SK8000 and other LG TVs is excellent. It feels smooth and responsive, and is very easy to use. The LG Content Store provides access to many apps, and YouTube, Netflix, and Amazon Video come pre-installed. The SK8000 also comes with LG's Magic Remote, which makes navigating the interface or even entering text very intuitive. It also has a voice assistant feature which works very well.
How's the weather in New York?
The sound of the SK8000 is mediocre. It doesn't get loud, and although the microphone on the remote can be used to calibrate the sound for your room, it doesn't remove our room modes. If you care about the sound when watching movies or TV shows, then an external sound system is the way to go. So overall, the SK8000 is a good 4K TV with an IPS panel, but it's only really suited to an average lit room with wide seating. The image remains accurate when viewed at an angle, and it has great reflection handling, but can't really get bright enough to overcome lots of glare. Also, when viewed in the dark, blacks appear grey and blotchy. The SK9500 is the highest end model in LG's LCD lineup. It has similar performance to the SK8000, but can get much brighter, which makes it a better pick for those with bright rooms. It also has better local dimming, but neither of these TVs is the best choice for those with dark rooms. The TCL 6 series is a very popular model due to the excellent value it provides. It offers better darkroom performance due to the high native contrast ratio and decent local dimming, but has poor viewing angles, which is bad for those with wide seating. In an average lit room with seating to the side, the LG is a better choice, and for a dark room with seating directly in front, the TCL is the way to go. The Sony X900F is a great LCD TV. It also has a VA panel with great picture quality from directly in front, but it also degrades when viewed at an angle. If you sit directly in front of the TV, then go with the Sony, but for those who watch at an angle in a room with some lights, the LG may be a better choice. The NU8000 is another very good TV, especially for gaming. It has some neat features like FreeSync support from a new Xbox or AMD graphics card. It also has better darkroom performance, but if you watch at an angle, then you may be disappointed by the color shift. If you watch from directly in front, then go with the Samsung, but for those with wide seating, the LG may be a better choice. So that's it. You can check out our video reviews of all of the models we compared in this video in the links down below. Also, let us know in the comments what you think of the SK8000, or if you've bought it. You can check out all of the measurements on our website. And if you like this video, subscribe to our channel or become a contributor. Also, we are always looking for great people to join our team in Montreal. So if you want to help people find the best product for their needs, have a look at the careers page on our website. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.